good evening from wherever you're joining. Welcome to this live LinkedIn Live session on how to implement AI in your SAP integration layer. We share both approaches as well as use cases, and I'm here with my colleague Ankit. So we can go to the topics that we will cover today.
Okay.
So we know maybe the integration space, right? People that will be listening in, they will be in the integration domain, and as you may know, we are doing a lot of control. We're doing a lot of checks. We are doing analysis in the integration domain. We're doing validations as how integrations are running, and of course, we design and build integrations. And ultimately, what we can do nowadays with AI embedded in the integration layer, it would be a companion. It could be a companion in joining us in this process, and that gives us so much possibilities. The possibilities are limitless, and we want to show use cases here that are already possible today, what we can think along and what components we have available to accelerate this journey and embedding AI agents in the integration layer, focused on SAP B2B integration suite. And in order to do this discussion, we will do it interactively. So it's really appreciated if people joining in have any question, put it on the chat. We will discuss it as part of this 30 minutes. And like I said, I'm here being accompanied by Ankit Keselani. We're both enterprise integration experts in the field of SAP integration. And we will do this session in an interactive style. So you will see us talk through the different use cases that we have and ultimately also showcase what is possible by giving a demo to show tooling in action and to kind of inspire you on what is possible. So before we start, it's good to know what is the challenge, what is the situation, how is the landscape of our typical integrations. So we want to visualize that. So here you see that we live in a world of more, and it's not difficult to see. When we are working with any enterprise, you will notice more applications, more SaaS, more connected systems, and it does not need to be integration just during business hours. It never sleeps. You always need integration, and it's about sharing more data. Maybe a lot of you are aware about data products that are there that are also facilitated by integration. It does not need to be in batch. It needs to be quickly, and it needs to be more intelligent. And more intelligent, both as what integration can do, but also how we deliver integration. And that is where AI comes in, and we want to showcase the possibilities here and drive the discussion. If we highlight in which phase we are, which you can see on the next picture, it will be about Rogo. Rogo is actually in this phase. We're dealing with SAP integration use cases every single hour, every single day, and our core expertise lies related to B2B integration suite. And we're working together and sharing actually also with SAP the roadmap related to adapters and connectors. And you see here that in this integration space, there's a huge roadmap. We are the strategic partner of SAP in this area, and all these SaaS and different applications, they need to be connected. And if you now browse to your designer integration suite, or you go to sap.api.com, you will find all these out-of-the-box connectivity options. So this is something that you will see. You see it on the left, and as well we are enterprise integration expertise partner here. So we're publishing content, digital, but we also go back to the roots of having this information shared via press books together with SAP, and ultimately standardizing the integration space and what is possible, publishing our best practices. They also come to expression in integration content, which is also a resource building foundation block in creating integrations. Now that we are actually talking about what is possible in this space, let's quickly look at the positioning of our services. So this will come up now, and you will actually see here that we have a whole augmented layer around our service. We have an augmented integrator offer, let's say within Rogo, where we combine observability, best practices in AI, managed services to really bring that 360 experience and embed AI in any area of integration. to show specifically and what's already possible today, I would like to show the following aspect, which links actually towards this portfolio.
Yes, Sander, I think it's great we are here talking about this topic. I think this is one of the most common topics discussed across enterprises, and there are so many initiatives going around AI in every enterprise. But if we look across the SAP ecosystem, right, and for customers who are using SAP applications, SAP products, how does these products have the capabilities? If I talk about BTP, say for example, what capabilities do we have which can actually help any enterprise to go towards a journey of agentic AI? So if they have custom agents built, can integration suite already talk to those agents? Do we have any capabilities around talk to the LLMs which enterprise are supporting? What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so this is interesting because where I was going to indeed is that it's already possible today. So as an integration specialist, you can browse, you can see what is possible in standard connectivity with your LLMs, even with your agents that are using LLMs underneath it, right? So it's not just OpenAI layer that you can interact with from integration layer. You can even go to your enterprise agents already and have that capability. So the models that are used in the market that anyone knows about, think about OpenAI, Gemini, all of these options, it's being embedded in this AI adapter. So you can start with that today, Ankit. You can browse, you can discover the options. And in that way, you can think about a lot of use cases where you bring in advanced error handling, where you bring business enrichment scenarios in it, business data validation scenarios in integration. And like I said before, you have so many possibilities. And I think only right now we capture what is possible. But with this embedded AI adapter, enterprise integration, you can kind of rephrase how that should lead to use cases that you see within the touch point between business and IT. So what is this AI adapter? You can actually browse to it right now. You will see in the next overview that on the right, you can actually browse towards api.sap.com. You can find the particular adapter there, and it acts as these capabilities that you will see shortly coming up. So it can do the agent orchestration, agent identity verification. It works with an LLM connector, and ultimately it's powering agentic interaction orchestration to make application integration agent ready. Now, what we want to show, and this is a bit of a looking in the future of the roadmap of AI adapter, is that also Claude and Gemini would be embedded as variants in this AI adapter. So the, let's say, releases that are being announced, they will more and more include much more models that allow you, whatever AI LLM model you're using, to integrate with this, which is very powerful. And you will see on the next overview that all the different models that are supported. So there are different entities. It is what we used to with using agents and LLMs. You can prompt, you can actually make that a more deterministic prompt or get close to that, embed it as a standard practice in integration, and use it in the iFlow. Of course, there are things to consider. You can do capabilities that are now standardly embedded in integration, try to outsource that via LLM. It's not always the best fit, right? Looking at the deterministic part, and you see content about it in the online community. You have to validate the use case, look at what will be the feasibility, what will be the outcomes, and of course standardize as much as possible. But the possibilities to get very advanced business-driven use cases, it's definitely possible. And if we look at this now and we look at this capability, we want to kind of go a step further, because this is something out of the box that you can start, you can explore, you can do it. But Ankit, I'm very curious, with agentic AI, would it also, and I think we know the answer is yes, but it's more how would it impact integration teams, integration, DevOps approaches, and ultimately also support teams and delivery. How do you see that, and what is possible today?
Yes, and I think, but what you highlighted is really important and also good for enterprises to know that how this AI adapter is almost acting as a gateway. And the question which you have asked is also related to this topic, because AI adapter is also enabling many use cases in the integration processes or the changes which we can bring to the DevOps process. And this is something which we would like to talk about today. So if we look the conventional way of storing the information for us, right? So if we talk about documentation, so we used to store all the documentation in Jira or Confluence. We have all the information of our tickets in either ServiceNow or Jira, for that matter, for incidents. If we talk about my best practices of an enterprise, sometimes it is documented, sometimes it is there with the specific senior developers or architects. My security standards with my security team. So if you see, we have so much information which is related to integration, but they are either with different teams or different stakeholders, and not everyone is aware about all this information at a central way, and these are more in a silo. So if security teams need some information, they need to contact that particular team, they get the answer for it, right? And as a developer, we mostly need all this information so that we can do the development in the right way. And operation teams on the same side, if they need to resolve some issue, they need to know all those standards of that specific enterprise to solve that issue, and the understanding of business process which is being followed.
Okay, so you're saying to be successful with AI agents in integration landscapes, context is critical. Enterprise context is critical.
Indeed. It's the key aspect of success if you talk about any initiative around AI, because I can have a very let's say common LLM or LLM available, but it will never have the information of the enterprise, that specific enterprise, and that exactly what we are recommending. So if we train with all the enterprise specific knowledge related to integration, because we are focusing on integration, then what we are doing, we are building an agent which has the knowledge of all my best practices, all my security standards, all my known errors in the past, all my business process which we are following as an enterprise. So it will act as an enabler for all the teams and the process in my DevOps, which we'll also talk about. So, and what it can bring is the capabilities around solving errors. So operation team will be able to solve errors in a more efficient way because they can easily ask this agent about the past issues. It can be developers on the other side, they will be able to handle the developments in a much more efficient way, because now they don't need to start a development from scratch. So if we'll go towards the next slide, I think this is exactly what we want to talk about, that how an agent like this, which has knowledge of all the enterprise information related to the integration, will be able to help and transform the whole DevOps process.
How powerful it can be. That's it.
Exactly. So starting from the very first stage of requirement gathering, where we gather the requirement, we try to design the pattern for it, design the interface, and start a development, right? From the very beginning, we would be able to remove all those redundant steps, manual effort, which we have to do every time, but does not need to be manual. And it should act as an enabler for that particular person or persona, because this is something which was there in silos but is available with this agent in one place, and developers should be able to ask all those information about, hey, I'm going to work, for example, if I have to work on a Salesforce integration, right? So if I was new to that, I would have to understand the whole documentation. I have to ask my co-developers or a senior developer, hey, have we done already this integration? What is the standard we are following? Or I go through the whole Confluence page to understand everything, and then I'm able to do something. On the other hand,
we know sometimes that will be skipped, right? Also, like, okay, you're not checking
in
this
real
out
world,
in detail always.
That's a reality, because many times we have business pressure. When business want the interface, every time they come with a requirement that they want to go live in a week, right? And they gave the requirement just day back. And in these situations, for developer, it becomes really complex to follow all the standards, to understand all the standards and then follow it. And this is exactly how this agent will enable the developer to access the information related to the best practices. So it is just a question away where they're able to ask, hey, is there a template available for this integration? What are the security standards? What are the naming convention which we are following? And on top of it, now this agent has all this information. You can imagine the power it has. It can actually help you in the whole development process. If you give it the right test data, it can help you create the mappings for you. It can help, since it already has the template information, it can also help you build interfaces on top of it. So you don't need to do the development from scratch, and generation of iFlows can be automated to a large extent depending upon the requirement and the complexity which we have.
Yeah, because I think as a developer, it's like finding where the standards are fine, but then how do I know which standard applies to which step of the integration, you know, where it's applicable? Yeah, you lose time with that.
And sometimes basically, if I have done the development, I don't know if I've done it in the right way. You always need to go to a senior developer or architect and ask, hey, is it looking good? Or in our DevOps process, we try to put those logics in a very static way, which is never dynamic in nature, right?
Not agile.
And this is exactly what we want to say, change in the DevOps augmented process, where this agent is not helping developers in design time development, it is also helping in the runtime, starting from my deployment process. So if someone is deploying it, we can link our DevOps process to this agent, where we are in real time, every deployment is being triggered and checked against the agent, where we are asking the agent, hey, have we followed all the guidelines or not?
Right. Yeah.
And accordingly, we are moving the transports ahead or not, or giving feedback to the developers, hey, you have missed this, you can update those. And this information is, since it is real time, you can imagine the power it brings. So if every time I'm updating my Confluence or my best practices, this is fed to the agent, and agent is helping move those information in my DevOps process in real time. It is also, now once I have deployed the interface, the operation teams comes into picture. They need to also support these interfaces in production, right? And on the other hand, whenever we have an error which is coming in production, most of the time what happens is we don't have the right information available with operation teams, that which team to contact, why this error is coming, and many times this error has already been solved in past. It's a recurring error, but we are spending the whole time again to find out, hey, how can we solve it? What is the root cause of it? And it takes a lot of time.
You go to a known error list, maybe in that case, right?
But manually.
Yeah.
Yes, and which is normally not also possible because you have such a big list. Manually, it becomes very tricky. And that's where agent comes with its power. If you're just asking, hey, is this error something which has occurred again? Who was the responsible team who solved it? How we can solve it? And that's where exactly the power of LLM plus enterprise knowledge comes into picture. And it gives you those information in a very structured way, helps you in the error resolution in an accelerated way.
Yeah, I think it can possibly even go like do compositional analysis. It can say, hey, this matches this part of this error, but it's a combination of this one as well. You know, put that layer of intelligence over it. So maybe errors will not map on one-on-one, but if you build the context of the error database and you kind of like let that map out, it could give a certainty factor related to matching patterns that it has seen before, and analyze it all holistically, which could be very powerful.
And exactly on this line, what we are doing, Sander, I think it's good to also highlight it. For many of our customers, we are already working with them on an agent like this, where we are training the agent with their enterprise knowledge, so that it is not just a random agent with generic information. So, and this is exactly, I think in the next slide, we would be showing that how we have an accelerator or an agent which has enterprise knowledge specific to that particular customers, which we are also already working with other customers, where we train this agent for that specific customer recipes or patterns which they follow. because every customer is unique in their own way. They have their own standards for their own reasons, right?
Yeah.
They follow a specific pattern. Some uses event-driven architecture, some does not.
Pipeline concept in CI.
Pipeline concept for that matter. Yeah. We are showing so many variations of that also across customers. So definitely it will always be the case that each enterprise have their own specific standards, which agent should be aware of, and that's what we do. We try to train the agent with those information which is very specific to that enterprise, their errors and resolution, their templates which they follow. And once this agent is there, trained, it is helping in the whole DevOps process to the developers, to the operation team members, and also in many cases to business stakeholders, because this can already talk to your real-time, runtime information, and business stakeholders can easily ask, hey, is there a sales order which has recently failed in last 2 days? This is the order number, and it can actually go and query those information and bring you those live
directly from the integration
statistics. Yes, that's the power it brings. So it is impacting different personas and enabling them. It's not about replacing any role. It's about bringing the best out of their time and making them most efficient overall. That's how I would say.
Yeah, now getting very curious, of course, right? What can we show a glimpse of what is possible, or can we show how would that look in reality, and showcase the power of it?
We would really like to show the demo. So I think I'm also looking at the.
I know we have a few minutes left.
Time, yes. I'm thinking if we are able to, yes. So I think the accelerator which we were just talking about, I think we can show an example of that here already. So if you see,
just one representation, right?
Yes.
Showing it in Teams. I think people are familiar with Teams setup. You can see here.
Yes.
How the visualization could be in the interaction part. Yeah.
Exactly, and this is something which every customer asks for a different setup. So someone is using Slack, they want to have their agent in Slack, and that is also possible. But the core message is that what we need to do in terms of training this agent and having that available to the developers and in the DevOps process. And if you see, for example, here I just asked a question. Hey, I'm starting for my Salesforce integration. Do we have any templates available for this? I asked that to my accelerator. Accelerator scanned through my repository of interfaces, templates, gave me some relevant examples, and I was already able to click on one of those examples in a live link and look at the information, what you see in the screen right now. So it is loading. So that is what it brings to the developers in real time. Developers don't have to go and find across the design time to find that related information to begin their development. They can just copy this template or even ask the agent, hey, in this particular template, can you change this and this functionality or add a particular mapping logic for the requirement which you have from your business. That kind of...
In a way, you're also educating when integration experts work with this. You're educating about the governance, about the best practices you have embedded in the enterprise. You say these are examples. This could be conflicting or is in line with the governance. So you're creating a lot of awareness, which makes sure that you all stick with the same kind of governance and best practices that are defined within the organization.
Indeed, because from those informations only you can enable developers. Otherwise, developers most of the time do Google search, which is not very helpful, or nowadays LLM search, which is also very generic information or not specific to enterprise. And that exactly what we as an integration team need to prevent. And if you see right now, it's a very relevant example of asking a developer, I want to use Salesforce adapter for my integration, but what are the operations possible there? An example of those operations, right? Because as a team, you might have already those in their landscape. And that exactly what this agent did. It understood, it gave you the example of all the operation possible with templates for it for developers to refer to. So
right, exactly how it's already designed to build before that can be reused, right?
Yes,
according to the
compliance
from the organization.
And the next question also is about very common problem. Developer doesn't know about the naming convention to follow. They don't have time to go through the whole Confluence page. And here they can already ask the agent if I'm following the standards or not in the right way. And they can even upload their whole iFlow just to say, hey, for this iFlow, have I followed all the standards before they trigger the DevOps process? Because most of the time, we're already quite late in checking the standards and UAT is sitting next to us. And what we need to do, we need to prevent it from the very beginning. We need to help developers from the very beginning. And that is what this agent actually does. It gives you that understanding of, okay, hey, you have to follow this particular standard.
And if we would transition to more an ops use case, more support focus, like what is possible today?
Interesting question, Sander, because right now what we talked about was the design time, how it was impacting developers in design time, where we develop things. But on the other side, ops team also have their own requirement, right? They are also solving many key challenges. And as a part of training, we also, what we do is we train these agents with all the information of errors and resolution. And what is here, right? Exactly
on the screen, like, are any error incidents related to, let's say, AWS or SQS queues? So we're asking here this question, and we get different suggestions back.
It's almost like in one fine day I got an error related to AWS adapter in my production. I have an interface where I'm using AWS adapter and I got that production issue, right? And it was related to adapter. And as an operation team member, it is really difficult for me to find all the possibilities if I don't have the right information available with me, right? What should be the right configuration look like for this adapter? Is it done right way or not? Is there any past error which has happened for this adapter, this kind of issue? And that exactly what this agent can provide to that operation team member during a P1, which they're trying to solve.
I see this what now is being asked, a very common business situation, right? Because the translation from business to IT, it can really be accelerated with these solutions. And we always have known that business reaches out, oh, what about this sales order? Is it impacted or not? Is it impacted or not? Did it? Of course, the observability suite, which we also tap on very quickly, would give some of that visibility end to end very powerfully. But here, now, I can figure it out directly.
That's the power you see right now. With one prompt, I asked, hey, was there any sales order which failed recently? And it was already able to go through my runtime, find all the information related to that sales order and the interfaces and the links to those orders. So for a business user, how useful that is. And if business user see, hey, it is failed, it can right away ask agent to create a ticket for it. Can you also create a ticket for this one against the ops team member to look into it? And at many times, we can also go towards a direction of self-healing, that, okay, we already know there's a known issue for it and the steps we need to take to resolve them. Those can be also automated depending upon the type of error. But I'm also looking at time, so
it's you know, it remains a very interesting topic, and I think we're also working towards completing and reaching consensus of what we have seen today. So how would you sum this up? You know, what we have looked at.
I think what we should take away from this one is that AI have many use cases. It is impacting multiple business processes, but it will definitely impact the way we work as an integration team, the way we are doing the development from designing, the way we are monitoring the integrations, that will change. The way we work as an operation team member, it is going to change. And how it is not about replacing the teams or the members, it's more about enabling each team and personas to use their time in the most efficient way and bring the most output for the team overall. That's what AI is about, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, also, since we're getting towards the completion, of course, any question that comes in via chat, we will be able to handle in the last minutes of this session. And I think typically when we navigated through these different topics, quite some question marks that typically arise, we have been tackling. And next, cases that we can go deeper in other sessions are about self-healing. What does it help? What does it actually benefit on development? And like not only the design but also the development part. How can it impact us? And how can we go towards ops use cases where self-healing will be applied? So that's all still to come. And related to the different solutions that we have seen. So this is the typically different areas of DevOps that Ankit described. But if we look at the augmented integrator that you have seen in action, which was already focusing on the devs related use cases and the ops use cases, we have shown what you can do out of the box in BTP integration suite with the AI adapter. It's available. We have more sessions that go more deeper dive and use cases around it, advanced error handling, business related use cases. You can start with it today. The different LLM models or agents that you use running on different LLMs, it's possible, Claude, OpenAI, and equivalent ones. And also the last solution that we have not explained much about, but Ankit, with the sales order use case that we saw, it's related to observability. It's like seeing what happens end to end, not just on the IT side, but the entire business process. And we are working a lot together with observability solutions like Datadog, Dynatrace, Splunk. They give that end-to-end visibility. And it's nowadays already possible that with your agents that you can hook up to these kind of observability tools. You can also have that full visibility, and you can have an even more better experience looking at the different things that happen end to end, also going into the the sort of target system involved. So no question of business cannot be answered. Let's say. This completes. Here you see those visualization of those three. This completes our session. I hope it was captivating to see what is possible today with AI-powered SAP integration layer solutions and perspectives on it. You can always drop any question. We can connect separately on it. You can subscribe to our LinkedIn newsletter that you see in front of you here via the QR code. And it's also always possible to reach out for us to have an SAP integration assessment, go into these topics, do a deep dive that is specific for your use cases. We started saying enterprise context is everything in using the most out of AI agentic use cases. So that means connecting and understanding your use cases, your enterprise context. Want to thank you for your time. Want to thank you, Ankit, for joining in this conversation. And hereby we will be completing this session. So wish you a good day. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your time. Wish you a nice day ahead.